You know, this revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First, you tell us that it is manly to keep your word, right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a woman, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you.
Can kill all the black folks you want, baby, but you will not kill the freedom of black folks. It's coming. We're going to get it. We fought every one of your damn lousy wars, Eddie, and you give us nothing. Now the war is going to be here, but we're going to be free. Now you kill you want to, but we kill too.
Good afternoon, family. Appreciate y'all. Whether you see this live or see this on the playback. Yeah, I'll put that in there. Appreciate all the people who have been spreading the message. I appreciate that. I actually do. Sorry, just trying to make sure that I'm up. I'm trying to actually put this through the Friedman Media page. It's actually on YouTube, and I want to send a special thank you to the 8 new subscribers. I know y'all be thinking I'm sarcastic, being sarcastic when I say that, like whether it be 1 subscriber, 3 subscribers, it takes a lot to build subscribers on platforms that, I mean, I know people have huge platforms out here. And my main goal for even getting the subscribers that I'm getting on YouTube is just so I can be mobile. I am more of a mobile caster than I am stationary, but I'm learning to do both. So hopefully I am clear today. And I do want to just send a major shout out to the 8 new subscribers on YouTube. I'm starting to push that page more. And once I can do casts like this on a more regular basis, then things will come through a lot more solid. So I appreciate you, Free. Always, showing love, showing support. I appreciate you. It's going to be, we're going to be here for a minute. I got a couple of things I want to talk about. So we're going to be here for a minute, and I definitely appreciate the family who will stop on through, whether it be on Facebook or whether it be on YouTube. I actually didn't send a link to Twitter today. I don't know exactly what I was thinking. So I'll get that, I'll get that tight. But yeah. Oh boy, you can see the picture in the background. Brett Favre, he's not getting enough pub. Let me just be honest with you. He's not getting enough pub on this. I know people want to look at Brett Favre as one thing, but I'm looking at him as another. And, this is the way most people want to look at Brett Favre. They want to look at him as an all-pro NFL Hall of Fame quarterback. But, I don't look at Brett Favre as that anymore. I don't look at that, I mean, he did his thing when he played football, but this ain't about football. This is about Brett Favre stealing money from the poorest people, from the poorest state in this union. And if you know anything about Mississippi, you obviously know that the poorest people in Mississippi are going to be Black people. And he had no problem with stealing that money. And he's showing no remorse about stealing that money. And there's just not enough people that are out here talking about it. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. So what I'm going to do today is, yes, we're going to touch on that, and some things may come back to that. Who knows? I don't know. But, where I'm starting with this, because some people know about it, some people don't know about it. One of the things that I have witnessed, though, I've witnessed how people talked about Michael Vick and the dog fighting and any other athlete that's gone through some types of trials and tribulations, whether they'd be playing or retired, and it's gotten way more press. It's gotten way more press. But then when you put this type of situation up, you don't get any type of press. I mean, there's been a few sports broadcasts that have brought it up. Shout out to the brother Shannon Sharp. I'm not always on the same mindset as that brother, but I understand he has to play that corporate game to keep his seat. But he went in. As much as he could literally go in, he went in. I believe even Stephen A. did this justice. But, I understand that they have seats that they have to sit in, and they have people that they have to answer to, no matter how high they are in the sports broadcasting world. So they're not going to be able to say the things that can be said on platforms like mine or other people who are doing Black media platforms online. They're just not going to. They're not going to be able to say the things, do the things, and break things down. But Brett Favre stole, and if it had been a situation where he received this money and had no idea where it came from, it'd been one thing. But that wasn't the case. We know that now not to be the case because he put it out there. He wanted to make sure that nobody knew where the money was coming from. And he wanted to make sure that the media didn't get their hands on where he got the money from. And anybody that's trying to keep something quiet, especially when they're getting monies and gifts and things like that, if they're trying to keep it quiet, they're only trying to keep it quiet for one reason, because they know they're stealing. And I'm not sure exactly why this isn't being brought out onto the mainstream. But then again, I do kind of know why it's not being brought out onto the mainstream. And this is why I always preach, hey, we got to clean up our porch. We got to always take care of ourselves, because we know when they do wrong, they can cover it up because they own everything. They own all of the media. But we have our own platforms to where we know what's happening, and we can push that through our own platforms. And when it does reach certain levels, and it's already gotten there, they're just figuring out ways to cover this up. They're trying to move on to the next thing. But this ain't going away. This ain't going away, because pretty soon I anticipate that this person is going to start talking a little bit more. Nancy New, she actually was found guilty in this scam, this welfare scam. She was found guilty and pled guilty back in April. Now, if she pled guilty and she's going to jail, how in the fuck isn't Brett Favre going to jail? He's the one that received the money. I don't understand exactly how Brett Favre isn't going to jail. But then again, I do, because there was an attorney that was brought on to try to fight to get some of the monies back. And then when he put out a subpoena for Brett Favre and the former governor, Phil Bryant, he was fired. He was fired. How do you bring somebody in to get the money? And then when he gets to the point where he's like, well, you know what? I got to talk to these people about their role in the money coming up missing. They fire him. And he believes that the current governor, Tate something or other, had something to do with him being fired. Of course he did, because he's on that side of history too. Phil Bryant was complicit. Brett Favre obviously is complicit and guilty. But nobody wants to talk about that. Peace to my brother Narmer X, coming through the YouTube platform, I'm sure. I appreciate you. It's always peace and love. But we need peace, justice, and respect out here. Respect begets respect. And I always look at certain things in different frames and things like that. I know they're not going to go at him as hard as they've went at some of the brothers in the past. I get that. I totally get that. It's their system. They're going to do what they want to do with it. But when it all boils down to is we have a situation where we have people that don't have water and they don't have resources. And the people that are subsidized and could have gotten these monies to help their situation and the situation that they're in now, because right now they're just being told to shower with their mouths closed. Take a shower with your mouth, but you can't take a shower in mud, in filthy sewage water mud. You can't take a shower. It doesn't matter whether you close your mouth or not. You can't close your pores. And those aren't real good remedies. The best remedy right now for these people is to get them the fuck up out of there or get that water system fixed. That's the best remedy, not showering with your mouth closed. But we ain't even there. We on Brett Favre. We on Brett Favre stealing, knowingly stealing, voluntarily stealing, and they're trying to cover it up. And you never hear about people talking about this when they're raised up on our side. That's why I have to salute the people that I have seen talk about it, because the ones who really should be talking about it, where are all the black politicians? Where's every black politician, whether they be in the South, North, East, or West, talking about this? I'm sure there's probably, you can find posts where people have congratulated and talked positive about Brett Favre in the past, but ain't nobody willing to talk negative because nobody wants to lose their seat. Nobody wants to lose their place. I don't give a fuck about my place. I don't give a fuck about my seat. There are people living in sewage water. And it's not totally all of Brett Favre's fault. But this is just we're the problem. I've gone at it this way, and I said, when do you hear about a black athlete being able to go to any politician and say, hey, I'd like to build a facility because my daughter is going to this university, and that politician, governor, whatever, goes and gets that money? When have you ever seen that happening? I know a big deal was made, but then not made because they figured out a way to counter it, about Dr. Dre giving money to the college that his daughter was going to. And Dr. Dre didn't steal that money. Dr. Dre made music for 30 years to get that sum to be able to send to that university. He didn't need no politicians. He didn't need to text nobody and say, hey, I don't want anybody knowing where this money came from for me to you. He gave. And how come Brett Favre couldn't give $5 million to that university? Brett Favre is worth over $100 million. He made over $130 million in salary alone. This doesn't include any career endorsements and post-career endorsements. Why couldn't he have given $5 million of his own money, of his earned income? Why did it have to come from the monies that should have went to the poorest people in the country? How come nobody wants to talk about that? I don't ever want to hear anybody say shit about no Brett Favre stats to me ever again. If you're going to talk about his stats in the NFL, let's talk about his stats in Mississippi. I don't give a shit. But let something go wrong with a black athlete, whether he's in his career or post-career, and it's on every news headlines. They can't wait to get it out, chop it up and spin the story. How come they ain't spinning this story? I at least need them to put it out there and act like Brett Favre didn't do nothing wrong. But ain't nobody saying shit because he's dead ass wrong. Where's Tucker Carlson on this? Where's the Ingraham angle on this? How come ain't nobody saying nothing on MSNBC, on CNN, to the degree that they say shit about black athletes? It's crazy to me that we're in this position over and over and over again, and we always end up at the bottom. They stole from the poorest people in the poorest state, and absolutely nothing is being done about it. And when they brought somebody in to do some fact finding, when he uncovered that he should be looking directly at Brett Favre and the former governor, they fired him. Because they probably thought he was just going to come in and basically chase his tail, because he wouldn't be able to figure out how the money was secured, where it came from, this, that, and the other. And then all of a sudden things start popping up, and he put out subpoenas, and then they put his ass out. That's a problem. We can't sit there. We can't stay there. But, you know, I just want this lady right here. I want her to start talking. I need her to start talking. I have a hard time believing that she ain't got some receipts. Speaking engagements. Black athletes do speaking engagements, and they give them pittance compared to what they gave Brett Favre not to actually do the speeches. Gave him $1 million, and he didn't even do the speeches. When have you seen a black man get $1 million to do speeches and then not do them? gave him the money ahead of time, and he never fulfilled the requirement just to talk. You can't tell me that this wasn't purposely done, that this wasn't maliciously done. He don't give a shit about them poor people in Mississippi. Hell, the president of the United States didn't even call the mayor of Jackson. FEMA did. The governor of the state didn't call the mayor of Jackson. FEMA did. Everybody worked right around this mayor. You the leader of your city, and you can't even get a call from other leadership. They just told him, make sure your people shower with their mouths closed. With their mouths closed. I mean, damn. Okay. That's what we got to do. We got to shower with our mouths closed. Now, I know the other flavor of the day. This thing here. And I'm not here to shit on anybody that went and saw the movie. Because motherfuckers that went and saw the movie is just going to be motherfuckers who went and saw the movie. Okay? I can't stop anybody from seeing a movie. But just so you know, people that are boycotting the movie, they're not boycotting Viola. They're not even boycotting the Caucasus and beige people who made the movie. They're boycotting the lie. We're tired of the lies. If you're going to tell the story, tell the truth. Now, from what I'm hearing, it's just cinematic genius. Great this, great that. But my problem is it's not the truth. It's not the truth. If it's not the truth, why would we go see it? Because it's supposed to be based on a true story. If they wanted to come out and say, look, because this has been said several times, you know, that they wanted to make a female Braveheart. And they wanted to do it in the spirit of what they did it in here. Totally agree, Brother Narmer. They tell our stories wrong. That's the problem. I don't mind someone telling the story if they're going to tell the story correctly. But when you tell the story wrong, that's a problem. When you purposely tell the story wrong, that's a problem. And they didn't have to. They didn't have to tell the story wrong. The history is there. People knew. Shout out to that sister Lupita. She knew, she learned, she knew, and she walked away. She walked away from the movie because she knew it was wrong, and the way they were portraying it wasn't truthful. There was no scheduling conflict. If anybody knows anything about this young lady, she's done as well as I think that she could do throughout her career. I salute her. I salute her because not only I think she tries to be on the right side of history, she at least does the research for these roles that she gets into. And this just wasn't a good role for her to get into. So I support. Look, I thought I had an image of her. I saw this ridiculous image of her. Let me see if I can actually find it. And I was like, wow. I mean, I think she's stunning anyway, you know, and I really wanted to show this image. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I wanted to show this image because I thought it was just incredible. Just showing her, you know, who she really was, who her, in all her essence, in all her beauty. Let's see if I can find this thing. But yeah, we're just in a place to where if we don't have the truth, then we need to walk away. We don't need to see a lie. I mean, look at what happened with Birth of a Nation. Nate told the truth. Now they wanted to try to blame it on his criminal background or alleged criminal background, but that wasn't the reason why they tried to stop that movie. That didn't have anything to do with anything. And they knew that. They knew that. What they wanted to do, they wanted to make sure that the truth really didn't get out the right way. And so they stopped that movie. They stopped that movie in its tracks. And it was bad that they did it because, hey, I thought that was cinematic genius, to be honest with you. I thought that was cinematic genius. And it's all good. You know, I mean, it's one of the movies Natalie says, she's like, I'm still scarred from seeing that. But I had to show her the truth. I had to show her the truth. She was young too, you know. And I think that it was a little heavier to me than I thought it was going to be. That's probably why I took her at that point. But she talks about that. We laugh now, but it was the truth. And something tells me that through the years, she's done her own little bit of research about the history. I've talked to plenty of people at her school, and they talk about how up on stuff she really is. And I don't have to get down and dirty with her on things. She picks up really, really well. And she researches things way more than I have to give them to her. But this here, I thought this was incredible. I thought this picture of Lupita was incredible. She is stunning. She is stunning. And when that caption of that picture, you know, told a lot. Lupita was going to be in the movie The Woman King, but after traveling to Benin and learning the true history of the Agoji tribe, she couldn't bring herself to be a part of the movie. She couldn't do it. It wasn't worth her sacrificing her integrity. It wasn't worth it. Absolutely. If our kids don't see how our ancestors were treated and don't see how we're treated, they'll have no idea how they're going to be treated. I mean, she's stunning. And she did the right thing by backing away from this project. So I salute her for that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with saying no sometimes. I wonder why Viola Davis didn't say no. She's not starving for scripts. She's got piles of scripts, I'm sure. She didn't need to do the Woman King. She didn't need to do the female version of Braveheart. She could have left that one alone. But they'll see their end result. They hit about 20 million on the first weekend. Supposed to be the big weekend, supposed to be your biggest weekend. You know, the buzz was already out that this movie was not telling the truth. And those who went to see it, they went to see it. Yeah, I'm good with that. It's funny. It's funny how people want to really broadcast. Yes, I went and saw it and it was such a great movie and it was this and it was that. Okay. You ain't got to talk it up. Go tell somebody else to go see it. Go buy somebody else a ticket to go see it. Tell me this. Is it good enough for you to go see it again? And if it is, go see it again. But something tells me people won't be going back to see this movie the way they went and saw Black Panther. Something tells me that this movie won't get to $700 million like Black Panther did. Now, Black Panther was a fictitious tale. We all knew it was a fictitious tale. Nobody needed Black Panther to be a true tale. But this was supposed to be a true tale, and it was a true lie. That's a problem. That's just a problem. Just like this person. He's just a problem. He is a problem. They had no idea. And then to make sure that that didn't stay the top movie ever, they promoted the next film to make sure its numbers got above Black Panther. You know you're doing something good when they climbing for you. Who's going to be looking to beat the Woman King? The next highest grossing movie last weekend was about a white woman who got an Airbnb in the Brightmoor neighborhood in Detroit. That was number 2. They strategically put this movie out because they knew nothing else was going to be coming out this weekend. And the next highest grossing movie was about some white woman coming to Detroit for a job or something, and she got an Airbnb and had some weird exchange with the Airbnb host in the Brightmoor district. If you know anything about Detroit, it's in the Brightmoor district. I'm only here to tell the truth. I'm only here to bring the truth. And if I don't know the truth to be what it is, I leave it alone. I'm not going to be up here on no fallacy. I don't need to be. Some people have to embellish. Some people have to fabricate. Some people have to just flat out tell lies to get y'all to listen. That ain't me. And maybe that's why I struggle to get subscribers. Maybe I need to do some goofy shit to get some subscribers. But that ain't me. I've rid myself from people who act like they support, because that's more damaging in the end when I know that they don't support, but they always want to give me critiques. How you going to critique a motherfucker when you don't even know what that person is doing? But that's who we are out here as a people. A lot of times I rock with very few people out here. And I want to send a shout out to my brothers BTP. I've already given a shout out to my sister Free. Anytime I'm up on YouTube, I got to get you my other accounts, Brother Narmer, just in case when I do stuff on other platforms, I want to see your face in the place all the time, because you've always been supportive. Oh, absolutely. They build our palates and our bellies up to digest the lies. That's what we survive on a lot of times. Very powerful brothers, very knowledgeable brothers. But they real, brother. See, that's the thing. People see them a lot of times in their cast. They don't understand. You got to see them, when they just kicking it. They real cats. My sister Shanna, she's always on it. She is a walking encyclopedia. I have no idea how she comes up with some of the goddamn information she comes up with sometimes. But I'm thankful that she's a part of my circle. She'll hit me off with some info some days, and I'll be like, whoa, what the hell? Where you get this from? We've got people out here who are pushing for the right thing, and nobody even knows. And then you get clowns who are doing shit the wrong way, and they're stars. It's amazing. Be on it. Needless to say, she's an Aquarian, so, I wouldn't expect anything less. Speaking of on it, before I get too deep into this, because we're going to take another turn in a minute, I want to talk a little bit about the city of Detroit and what they're about to encounter. Speaking of on it, this brother has always had a special place in my heart because I felt like he was always telling it like it is, just being real. And I don't believe he gets enough credit for being who he is out here, because he's kind of in a box. He's kind of in a box, but that box that he's in, he maximizes it wholeheartedly. And I don't believe he allows that box to constrict him and constrict his thinking. And I've always appreciated that. Back in the day, I used to deliver food to him when he was playing basketball at the University of Michigan. And I'll get close to him at some point again one day, and I'm going to remind him of the setting just so he understands that I know who he is. Because I don't think I look what I looked like 30 years ago, let's say. And I'm going to remind him of the setting of when I came to bring him some food and he couldn't find no money. He had money. Even as a broke college student, he had money. But, it was an interesting exchange, and we'll have to break that down. One day I'm sure I'll be able to kick the Willy Bobos with him, and we'll go from there. But let me find this, and I want to share. Let me get to the point. Let's see. I'm going to share. Da-da-dee, So I want that. Okay, so I don't need that. And I don't need that. I just want to make sure I got everything. Okay. But yeah, I want to share this video that I have of Jalen Rose, and hopefully the audio comes through clearly. It was thorough. The statement that he made, and I just shared this in our little group that we have. We don't always have to post our stuff and put it online. And sometimes we just like to share that good shit with the family. Now, it's a public video because it was shared on my timeline, but, I didn't go back and reshare it, to the masses, because I know the masses aren't going to they're not going to understand, but not only will they not understand, they will. Let's see. Yeah. Not only will they not understand, but they'll try to speak against it, But I know this to be true. And I talk to a lot of brothers who have kids that have played sports. Hey, how you doing? I'm not on camera. Getting ready to go to your thing? Okay. A lot of people understand this, and like I said, what I want people to understand from me when I play things like this, my understanding is not always about sports. And I'll speak a little bit about, the youngin here locally in a minute, but it's not always about sports. It's about the individual or the collective. And I want to play this. And like I said, hopefully this audio comes through good. And we'll go from there. We'll turn that there. We'll go there.
That are predominantly black are the ones that once you get into them, the goal is for you to feed the system and help the system make as much money as possible before you profit. Basketball and football, predominantly black sports, are the main ones with restrictions after high school. Mm-hmm. For a while, they had dress code, had salary cap, couldn't smoke weed, had a length of contracts. Like in baseball, you can sign a 10-year deal. In hockey, you can sign a 9-year deal. Can't in basketball. In tennis, in golf, in NASCAR, you can turn pro after high school. Can't in basketball and football. They're going to force us, and this is a residue of slavery. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. They're going to force you to feed and pay the system as long as possible. When you graduate from high school, there's so many players that shown you can go to the league and be successful. Kobe, KG, J.O., Daryl Dawkins, Spencer Haywood, the originator. LeBron James. T-Mac. So T-Mac. So there's evidence, concrete evidence, that Hall of Fame players can go from high school to the pros. The sports that are predominantly black are the ones that once you get into them, the goal is for you to feed the system and help the system make.
All right. So he was 100% correct. 100% correct. And when you look at these sports that are dominated by us, they always figure out a way to maximize the dominance. And the dominant thing is the revenue. The dominant thing is the revenue. How long can we make money off of this individual? So instead of him being able to go right from high school to the pros, make him make that stop to the college. College got to get some of that money. College got to get some of that money. Have you noticed how they're putting more and more high school games on TV now? They're making money off of these kids in high school. %, Brother Narmer. They're making money off of the kids in high school. Nobody's talking about this. The only thing people are really hung up in right now is the NIL stuff, where they need to drop it a notch. Start paying the high school kids. I'm not against anybody. I mean, obviously, if they're under 18 and their family needs to be taking care of that revenue and putting that revenue away until they can actually handle it themselves. But if you're going to be using the names, the images, and the likenesses of these kids on nationally and internationally broadcasted platforms, you need to be compensating them. But they're going to get the money from them in high school, they're going to get it from them in college, and then they're going to get it from them in pros. 100%. Once again, you on your shit today, Brother Narmer. Child actors don't act for free. Why should child athletes play for free? We don't even want to talk about it. We know Ann Arbor got fat off the Fab Five. One of the greatest teams ever assembled that didn't win a thing. They won games, but they didn't win no championships. But they changed college basketball forever. That's worth more than anything. Just think if there were NIL deals back then. How much money did the Fab Five make the University of Michigan? How much money did the Fab Five make Ann Arbor, Michigan? How much money did the Fab Five make college basketball? Just like they always do. They squeezed it until they couldn't get no more revenue out of it. And then they turned on them. When all of them knew what was going on. They tried to play it like it was 5 black kids and Ed Martin. Tried to make Steve Fisher culpable. Come on, man. You trying to tell me that Ed Martin was the only booster for Michigan basketball at that time? Hell, some of them football boosters slid on over to the hoop team too. They still making money because now they bringing them back for anniversaries and celebrating them and everything. They still making money off the Fab Five 30 years later. I'm only here to bring the truth. I'm only here to bring the truth. I had a scenario that I wanted to play something. What I want to do now is I want to talk about this. I'll get that tight in a second. I want to talk about this facade. This is the latest facade in the state of Michigan. Michigan lands a $105 million federal grant to remove Detroit's I-375. Now, if you don't know I-375 by name, that's that highway that reels right in, and when you get off, you're basically sitting in front of the Renaissance Center. Okay. The highway that destroyed Black Bottom, that destroyed Paradise Valley, the highway that was just like so many other highways across this country that ran right through fruitful Black communities and destroyed them. That's I-375. And they say they want to change it now. They want to get rid of it now. After they killed generations of generational wealth. They killed generations of generational wealth by running that freeway through Black Bottom, through Paradise Valley, and every other fruitful Black neighborhood across this country that had a freeway ran through it. It was because of this. Find out where Black people are doing the best independently, and let's run a freeway through it. We got to bring them dollars back to us. Even though we don't want them doing business with us, we can't have them doing business with themselves. So this is, I guess, a little bit of a rendering here of what they're proposing they're going to do. They're going to get rid of 375 and turn it into what? You're just going to add more to your Caucasus revenue making infrastructure. I mean, they can say what they want to say and do what they want to do now. But after you displaced generations of generational wealth, how can they get that back in the city of Detroit? How can they ever get that back? They can't. It's a rhetorical question, obviously. They can't. I was just watching something on the news. You got this Maroon family trying to push the last of the black folks out of this East Side neighborhood so they can drop a ready-mix cement factory. A 92-year-old lady, they're trying to uproot her out of her home. And she says, there ain't no money they can give me. Where am I going to go? What I need to be trying to buy a house for at 92. And she's right. There ain't no more land around the city of Detroit that they can go put that cement factory. Leave them folks alone. They say they own 80 to 90% of that property in that area. They just don't own them last few parcels, and they trying to push them folks out. They put a brother on TV, and he said, you know, he may have to do it because the money sounds good to him. Brother, this ain't about your money. You're going to end up spending that money, and you won't have near the land going somewhere else. But he talked about the crime, and he talked about all the other things. They're going to squeeze him out. He sounded like he might have already signed the deed, to be honest with you. Sound like he might have already signed it over. But she says she ain't going nowhere. She 92 years old. And where would she go? Where would she go? She lives in a house that she's most comfortable in. You put her in another house, she's probably gone in 6 to 12 months. You got to change her whole day of living every single day. No. She knows where stuff is in that house that nobody else will ever know. Now you go put her in some, whether it be independent, assisted, or just full out nursing home. She's gone in 6 months. Gone. But that's what politics is for us. And that's why we have to be able to go get more. We can't be just parking lot politicking. We got to walk in the building. We got to walk in the building, y'all. And one of the things that I've said, and I'm consistent with it, I have no designs to run for any type of office. I'll back good politicians. I will absolutely back good politicians. And I'm going to fuck with bad ones. Can't have bad politicians in our midst. If we have bad politicians in our midst, we're going to have bad politics in our midst. Let me show something here. This is something that came across my table. I had no idea about this. And I wasn't upset that I wasn't invited, because why would they invite me? I'm the last person that this individual would probably want to see. But I found out last week that Jim Clyburn was in my city. Oh, you're absolutely right, Free. That pressure alone could push her into an early grave. If she's got any living family, they need to tell her to tell them to back the fuck off. You're absolutely right. They're just going to continue to put pressure on her. But yes, Jim Clyburn came to my city, and he came, our state rep, Felicia Brabeck, who I've interviewed before, really nice lady, very smart lady, to Clyburn's right there. I don't know who those other individuals are, to be honest with you. The gentleman to the far right, if anybody in Washtenaw County knows who this gentleman is he a politician? Is he a political in any way? I've seen him before. I just don't know who he is. Please hit me off to who that gentleman. I believe his name is Lot Coleman. I saw that by his name tag when I zoomed in on the picture. But yes, Jim Clyburn came to our city. And it was, interesting that he came here. And I guess he was here. Let me see. Where is that at? Did I put that up here? I thought I had another image of him. Hold on one second. He was talking about someone named, I believe his name is Dan Kildee. Oh, I think I have too many things up here, so let me get rid of something. Yeah, Dan Kildee. There it is. So I want to know, and that's who Clyburn came here to speak about, salute, politic for, whatever. I would have just liked to have been able to ask him a couple questions. We've seen his stance on reparations. We've seen his stance on a Black agenda. But to be able to talk to him in my environment, because I know he gets ran up along a lot in his environment, this would have been in my community. So, I would have acted as if, when in Rome, you still ask the tough questions. But he was here and he was talking. I got to know who this brother to the left is, though. His name is Lot, which lets me know that he's probably an American freedman. You don't find many immigrants named Lot. I've known some Lots in my life, older people. So his name is Lot, and his last name is Coleman. So I'd like to find out who he is, what he is. He's probably got some insight into this local politics stuff. He was right there in the pictures, and he was laughing and yucking it up with Clyburn. I'd like to know his ideology on repair and on reparations for American freedmen. It's very important. It's very important to know. See, you have to understand, Brother Narmer, that was such an uphill battle for Brother Marcel to win. What he did was he did wake people up. He was obviously a better choice. We know he was a better choice, but what he did was he woke people up. And his next time around, I believe, really with a full political cycle behind him, because he went in with a real fragmented cycle. He did not have a full cycle to be able to get out there and campaign. And I think this time around, things can really be different. But what we not only need is Brother Marcel running, we need other qualified individuals running as well. Now, Clyburn, Brother Marcel overcoming that would be considered like a giant kill. That would be a giant kill. And I'm not thinking that other politicians are going to take runs at politicians as big as a Jim Clyburn. But they need to at least start on the local end and start their way up that way. And I feel like we have a few in the state of Michigan, but I don't feel like everybody is running at them the right way. And some of the people that are out here working with politicians, it's unfortunate because I had to back away from a few people. I was in some Twitter spaces with some people, and I had to back away from a few people when I found out they were supporting people who weren't supporting reparations, but they felt like they could change their mind. You can't change someone's mind. If someone right now in 2022 doesn't believe that the descendants of enslaved people on this soil don't deserve repair, you're not going to change their mind. There's too much information out here, too much proof that they see every day, every week, every month, every year, how we have been systemically put as a bottom caste. So for them to say, no, I don't think they deserve it, but to say, yes, Holocaust survivors deserve it, you're not going to change their minds. Stop trying. Move on. Move forward. Move upward. Just don't move backwards. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, y'all. So we have to start to think more fruitfully. And when I talk about politicians, I've always put every politician that I've dealt with, whether it be interviewing them on my platform, talking with them in person, doing whatever, I've always put them in the same frame. They are a politician. I am looking for them to advocate for my interests, and that's it. I don't look for any more. I don't look for any less. If I'm voting for you, you better be advocating for my interests. If you're not, I won't be voting for you next time, and I'll be lobbying against you. That's it. It's not a love. It's not a hate. It's not anything. It's politics. Politics has no room for emotion. And that's the problem with many of our people. We get too emotional when we talk about politics. I'm an excitable person. So when I talk about politics, people think I'm all, no. Check my blood pressure. It's better than yours. I guarantee it. But yes, Jim Clyburn made it in and out of town, and I had no idea. I saw it after. I was like, damn. And like I said, I wasn't expecting anybody to reach out to me and say, hey, he's coming to town. But see, that's also the part of Freedom Media. I need people, when they see stuff like this, just drop me a little inbox. Hit me in the text. Hey, guess who's coming to town? Guess who's going to be over at so-and-so? And then let me make the necessary arrangements to get there. Because two things need to happen. I need to figure out how I can get close enough to be able to talk to him, and then somebody else has to be able to film it and document it. That's all I need. That's all I need. You can get people to film people doing goofy shit out here all day long. People fighting and fussing and all kinds of shit. I need somebody to be able to document that I actually had a chest-to-chest with James Clyburn. And I want to just ask him the real questions, not the tough questions, the real questions. He's the whip. You don't get to be the whip being stupid. And I'm not going to try to change his mind getting 60 seconds of his time. But if I can get him to answer one of the 2 or 3 questions that I can answer and just find out exactly, maybe this is the direction we need to be going. Because it damn well ain't working by just us doing cast, by us standing out in front of county buildings, courthouse buildings on Saturdays and shit, freeway. I heard Freeway going back into the pulpit. Uh-oh. We about to get some preaching. We about to get saved and sanctified with Freeway Waddlesworth Ministries. Got to put that ministries in there so she can get that nonprofit money. Can't wait for those new t-shirts to come out. Strategy over emotion. I completely agree with you, brother. I appreciate that. Brother Narmer, I must be saying something right today, Brother Narmer. We are in the same vein. Brother Narmer ain't easy to please. I'm gonna let y'all know. He is not a ringer here. Okay. I didn't put him into the chat so he would be saying things and I could put his stuff up. Brother Narmer, if I was calling some shit wrong, Brother Narmer would say, "You're calling that one wrong, bro." So I appreciate you being on your shit. Yes, freeway. Yes. Freeway. So hopefully Clyburn had a good sandwich at Zingerman's Roadhouse. You know, Zingerman's has these world-renowned sandwiches. Hopefully he was able to get a couple sandwiches to take back to South Kakalaki. You know. But man, I got the perfect way to break in with him, man. You know, got the perfect way to break in. My baby just sent me a text. Thank you. I love you too. I absolutely love being a mommy. My baby had a baby. My baby, Bryson Wayne, my grandson, my newest grand. I ain't met him yet, but I'm gonna meet him here shortly. She promised me. She said, "I'm gonna put your grandson in your arms. You just wait." Them ain't tears, y'all. Them ain't tears. I'm sweating. Them ain't tears. So, absolutely, Brother Norman. Absolutely. So, yeah, when I talk about politicians, like I said, I don't have a love or a hate for a politician, but I am aware. And I am aware of what they say. I'm aware of what they do. And he's special, Narmer. I'm looking at him. He's special. That boy was lifting his heads up like days old. He's lifting his head up, turning. He's strong, man. He's strong. I appreciate you. No doubt. I appreciate you. You know. And his parents are strong, man. My baby's a nurse. Her husband is a occupational therapist. Strong. That's a power couple right there. That's a power couple. They doing things, they're helping people. They've been out of the country helping folks, man. They got that mindset that, woo, it just, I ain't sweating, y'all. I ain't sweating, you know. My eyes just watering because of vents, you know. It's the vents. Got to blame it on the vents. So I try to tell people all the time, if you get too close to a politician, they'll disappoint you. They'll disappoint you. I know they will. I know they'll disappoint you. But what is this craziness? I'm sorry. I got distracted there. I messed around and looked in my DM and my Twitter. That's just a distraction. Anyways. Appreciate you, Free. I try, man. I do try. I've actually got to put a piece together for someone who's writing a book on the school to prison pipeline and what it feels like to be a grandfather. So I've got to put those pieces together and submit that today. So I'll probably get that done right after I get off of here. Bryson Wayne's great-granddaddy's birthday was yesterday. The man who gave me the genes supplied me with the DNA so I could supply others with the DNA. I don't have a lot of fantastical memories of my father. My father was definitely not a Disney parent, but what I did get from him, I try to use to this day. He was a profound individual. He was one of the most intelligent people I've ever met to this day. If I was as smart as my father, I probably wouldn't be making this video right now. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't be creating content, but I wouldn't be making this video right now, probably. But no, he was an incredible individual. And I wish he lived long enough to be able to see his great grandchildren. But I know he's here. I speak in a lot of his spirit, with a lot of his thought. It's really where the no filter mentality comes from. My mother was pretty filterless as well. But my father had absolutely no filter, but he knew when to turn on what made him great, always at the right time. So it was a great thing, for me to have him as the person who brought me into this world. A couple of years ago, someone did a broadcast on Facebook and YouTube, and it was about an up-and-coming prosecutorial candidate. And I told him that I didn't think what he did was good. And appreciate that, Free. I did not think what he did was beneficial. And most recently, I've spoke on this when I talked about the North Side picnic. And I've talked about people saying it just all willy-nilly, whether it had been that picnic. I've heard it in other spaces as well. Black people out here calling white people my nigga. Now, I've said, and I've broken it down, and I'm going to do it before I actually play this clip. I use that word universally. I'll say white nigga. I have no problem with saying that shit. I literally have no problem with saying it. I know people don't like it. I know it makes people cringe. I get it. But where I draw the line is, I'm not going to call a white person my nigga. You could be my dog. You could be my dude, my guy, my boy, my homie, but you can't be my nigga. You just can't be. And I don't think there's any white people really out here vying to be. But unfortunately, you get these folks who want to bring Caucasus individuals. Oh, yes, there has to be lines drawn, Brother Narmer. They bring these individuals into these spaces. And let me tell you this, I didn't talk to who is now our prosecutor of this county. I didn't talk to him about what I'm about to play. And maybe I should have, but I don't think I needed to, because I had already talked to him about this situation previously. And it was an uncomfortable situation for him, and he didn't like it. Now, this is just speaking through me, not speaking for him. It was disrespectful, And I said something to him about it. He didn't bring it to me. I brought it to him. And I said, you know what? I told that individual who did it, and it was a bad look. It did not look good. It did not look good. It did not sound good. Take that down. You should take that down. That's not something to be proud of. But see, I don't know nothing. And people try to play me like I don't know nothing. But if you're going to be a clown out here, I'll give you an opportunity to clean it up. But if you ain't going to clean it up, God damn it, I'm going to clean it up. That's my job. That's what Freedman Media is about. We going to speak the truth no matter what. So I want to play some audio that I was able to snatch from this cast, because this person that interviewed the future prosecutor of Washtenaw County called this American Jewish man my nigga. Not once, not twice. You know what? God damn it. Let me just get to it, because I'm literally about out of patience here. So let me just go on and get to it so y'all see, or you'll hear what's popping with this, because this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Okay. I'm going to play just a few words before the my niggas to give it context, just so you know. There was a whole segment about this shit. A whole segment. Stop, free. Leading up to each time. And if he had went back and just watched his own broadcast, now I'm bad about this, folks, watched his own broadcast, he would have seen how uncomfortable he made this man feel when he said the shit. I told him, go look back at it. And we're talking 2 years ago. It's 2 years ago. But since he chose not to take it down, and I've heard it so many other times since then, not just from him, but from a lot of other clowns out here, God damn it, I'm going to speak on it. Because I told y'all, don't let me hear you out in these streets calling white people my nigga. It's bad for business. And that's what I'm about. I'm about business.
I ain't throwing no softball questions at nobody. I ain't trying to. If I seemed like I was soft on the other one, I had to be careful. She a woman. They tear my ass up. Like, you shouldn't treat that woman like, I never get a wife if I'd have tore her up like that. You, I called you my nigga. You should feel home. My nigga just myth bust. He just actually myth bust. Somebody said he didn't vote. It's a white cop, black woman. You already know I called you my nigga, so it ain't no game.
If they are committing a crime, I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. They're committing a crime and they're harming people? Yes.
My nigga. You in the fire. You in the fire, brother. That's why I call you my nigga. And a lot of people gonna be like, damn, he called a white guy nigga. He running for prosecutor. I'm gonna call you my nigga if I'm a defendant on the bench. Remember, I call you my nigga, but I don't want no favors. I want you to do what you're supposed to do, the same as you would do for the white man over there trying to cut off or hurt somebody that's black in your doggone town too. I heard the word he's white and he's all right, but damn it, shit, you my nigga. I'm taking it up another notch. You my nigga with this conversation. I appreciate him. I love him. They don't know me. They might not believe me because I cursed at him. Yeah, I called him my nigga. I hope he don't run me over with his car. But that is my nigga though, for real. I call him at his face, even if he ain't or is prosecutor. My man is a good guy. Raw, he didn't duck no questions. For the candidates or anybody else that's running their mouth about this man, he ain't scared. He sound like he got a plan. and he's focused, and he's ready to be the top cop in the neighborhood, in our community, and Washtenaw County, and shake this shit up.
Now, please let me explain. That situation to me was embarrassing. And it wasn't embarrassing because I actually know who he was talking about, who he was speaking on, and who I spoke to. So true, Brother Narmer. And there's such a backstory to all of this. Such a backstory to all of this. Hey, 100%. Is it Sadiku? Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Sadiku, welcome to the chat. 100% quintessential off-code behavior. It's not good privately. What makes people think they can do this publicly? I'm glad I didn't butcher that. My name is Shannon Sadiku, and my name gets butchered all the time. So I'm just thankful I was able to pronounce your name correctly. I'm a stickler for grammar, so I try to be on the right side of history where pronunciations go. So you was listening in the background. I brought you out. I'm sorry, I brought you out. My fault. That kind of behavior will bring people from the background to the foreground. I get it. I'm not here to insult anybody. I'm not here to embarrass anybody. But the problem is when you say things like this, you are putting yourself on an island. I'll take 100% blame for it. I have no problem with that. I'll take 100% blame for it. And to be honest, I was in a mood that day when I edited this audio, and shout out to my sister Free, because she literally, I put her on the task of going through this cast and time stamping and then shooting it back to me so I could break the audio down myself. There's a whole video for it as well, but I just literally went on and did it this way just so you could hear it. You don't need to see the video. It's just, it's a still image that's moving about on the screen. But I was in this mood this day, and I guess you could just say I was being petty. You could say I was being petty because then I did this.
You should feel my nigga just know I called you my nigga. My nigga. You my nigga. And a lot of people gonna be like, damn, he called a white guy nigga. He running for prosecutor. I'm gonna call you my nigga if I'm a defendant on the death. Remember, I call you my nigga. You my nigga. I'm taking it up another notch. You my nigga, my nigga. I hope he don't run me over with his car, but that is my nigga.
So, I was in that mood that day, and I'm over it now. I'm out of that mood. So I said I would do this because we have to stop clowning around out here. Stop fucking with these folks this way. This is why we're not taken seriously on various platforms politically. You are given an opportunity to sit with someone who is going to be the top cop in your county, and you do yourself a disservice for calling him out of his name, not once, not two, not three, several times. It just makes no sense to me. Excuse me, y'all. Oh, pretty lady. Lips because you had your lipstick on. Okay, that's good. Well, I'm off my, and I didn't want to bring the camera up and have lipstick on because then they'd be like, oh, What's going on there? All right, love you. Be safe. Let me know you made it. Okay. Excuse me. No, he ain't got no degree. Not the one that was saying my nigga. The person that was being interviewed was the candidate running for prosecutor, who is now the prosecutor of our county. The person that was interviewing him, he does not have a degree. Well, you know what? I may stand corrected on that. He may have a college degree. I don't think so, though. If he does, he doesn't talk about it much. And something tells me that if he did, he would talk about it more. So I don't know. I don't think he does. Would you say that, Free? Some way, somehow, we always end up as entertainment. Absolutely. Absolutely. This individual's name is Tyrone Bridges. There's no need of hiding it. Once people see the video, they're going to know who it is anyways. His name is Tyrone Bridges. And the reason that I literally played this audio, that I captivated this audio to put this audio together, because now he's gone from the prosecutor, who is now the prosecutor of our county. He's gone from calling him my nigga to now, the last several casts that I've seen, he's been straight at his throat. Now, how do you go from it being your nigga to being in his chest all of a sudden? What did he do to you? You liked him at one point. You loved him at one point. You got to love somebody when you call him your nigga. And if you call him your nigga, why is he not your nigga no more? There's a problem with that. He can't be your nigga today and not your nigga tomorrow. You my nigga today, you my nigga tomorrow. No, he done made some political decisions that you didn't quite see fit. So now you gon' talk your shit. We can't do that out here. For one, we content creators. Well, I'm a content creator. Let me not speak for everybody else out in this bitch. I'm a content creator. Some people are content casters. Some people are content clowners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak the truth. I'm going to speak the truth. And I know everybody don't like the truth. I spat a couple nights ago about the young brother Amani Bates. I didn't even put him in my hashtags or in my title today, because I don't want people to be thinking that I want to do a video literally to just talk about this youngin. I just want to talk about it, but I really don't want to talk about him. I want to talk about the situation that he's been presented with, because I really want him to come out on the other side of this. We're talking about one of the biggest prospects that this county has ever known, black or white, okay? But since he's black, okay? Since he's black, I feel the need to be supportive and not a naysayer. I feel the need to be supportive, because there's so many people that want to kick him while he's down. So many people want to talk against him while he's down. Some of the same people that was posting his highlights, that was talking shit about him, this, that, and the other. But now they want to talk shit about him while he's down. And I got messages for all these motherfuckers that never made the varsity basketball team or varsity sport in any goddamn thing. Shut the fuck up. I have no idea about his situation, literally. Only what I've seen on the news, what I've read. But what I do know is he is in a space that where if he can get the fuck up out of here, and I'm not just talking about getting up out of Washtenaw, getting up out of Ipsy, getting up out, no. getting up out of this situation as a young black man, he needs to be able to, and he needs to never look back. Can't live on it. It can't, because it can't be pressure to him. It can't be weight to him. Because if it is, he will never take the flight that he needs to take. I still believe he's destined for greatness. Personally, I still believe he's destined for greatness. And greatness is in the eye of the beholder. Greatness is in the eye of the beholder. Because some people look at where he was a few years ago on the cover of every sport magazine out here, on ESPN a few times a week. We seeing him on the local news. I'm going to watch basketball games. Literally, I was going to watch my daughter cheerlead, and he'd be playing the team that she was cheerleading for. But I saw other games when he wasn't playing the school she was cheering for, and I thought he was just about to take flight, about to soar. But everything isn't always perfect. Thank you, Jay Bird, for that. Anybody that's new watching this video, it looks like I've picked up a few people listening today. Hopefully there's other people in the background that aren't. Make sure you subscribe to Friedman Media on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Instagram. The messages don't get weaker, y'all. They get stronger. I'm not an attention whore, so I'm not going to continue to say that. I've left it scrolling on the bottom. I said it at the beginning. I said it right now. I'm going to keep it moving. Because you're going to subscribe whether you want to subscribe or not. You're going to share the videos whether you want to share the videos or not. But if you listening to the message, if I'm getting into you enough, then maybe you'll move it to somebody and they'll be like, well, let me check that out. Let me see that. Because see, I ain't got to worry about y'all telling me, oh, you know what? You need to watch PBA. You need to watch TBT. You need to watch Tariq. No, I don't need to worry about y'all telling me that because I already know y'all probably watched him anyway. But the fact that y'all watching and listening here today, salute. I salute you. One thing we also got to do, y'all. One thing that we've got to do, y'all. We've got to figure out ways that when they want to salute us, that we in the room. We got to be in the room when they salute us, y'all. Because if we're not going to be in the room when they salute us, shit like this is going to happen. I'm about to switch gears. I was like, turn in another direction here. When we're not in the room when they salute us, this shit happens, God damn it. And y'all know it. Y'all know it. Every time something like this happens, I just cringe. God damn. This is supposed to be a statue of Tupac Amaru Shakur. Yeah. The anniversary of his death just last week, 16 years ago, I believe. And this statue here, I don't even know exactly where that statue is at. But wherever it is, I want to know who the sculptor was and who did the proofs. Who was in the room when they did the proofs for this? This civil rights activist ass statue. What the fuck was going on here? He looks like he just stepped out of a goddamn NAACP summer jam. Oh, you right. I'm thinking 16 years. I'm thinking, yeah, 06. No, you're right. 26, I believe it is. Jay Bird, you're not going to come in here with your foolishness today. He looks like Deacon Cletus Elroy. I'm like, what made them do this? Tupac was killed in 95 or 96? Please, you know what? I'm going to have to go look at this because I'm looking at the statue. Hold on a second. Doesn't that statue say 96? I'm pretty sure that statue says 96. Let me get your foolishness off of here, Jay Bird. Doesn't that statue say 96? It says September 13th, 1996. Did he die in 96 or 95? I thought he died in 96 and Biggie died in 97. Or did he die in 95 and Biggie died in 96? It says Tupac died in 96. So Biggie must have died in 97. Tupac's mother approved this? Are you serious? I can't believe his mother signed off on this. No problem with that. No problem. Afeni Shakur signed off on this. She signed off on this Medgar Evers looking statue. I mean, here, look, let me explain something to you. I had to do it this way too. Okay? I had to do it this way. Tupac's mother's in Cuba. Oh, she's still living? I thought she passed away. I didn't know she was still living. But look at this. I mean, they have him dressed up like he is about to take offering. He was 25 years old. They've got him looking right here like he's a minimum of 57. Assad Shakur. I wouldn't have wanted to unveil this if she was still living. She might have had a heart attack when she saw this. I mean, you can't tell me that somebody looked at this and said, this looks like Tupac. You know who he actually looks like? He looks more like Roger E. Mosley. Rest in peace. This brother just passed away. He looks more like Roger E. Mosley than he does Tupac. He looks more like Gregory Hines than he does Tupac. We've got to be in the room to be able to speak our own narrative. I'm telling you, it's just not right. I mean, I got to go back to that full image. I mean, they had Tupac, and you know, Tupac, when he died, you know, things hadn't skinnied up yet. They got Tupac in this suit like he was wearing them skinny slacks like all the brothers is rocking nowadays. If it's our story, we need to be in the room. If it's our people, we need to be in the room. Got Tupac's knees all bulging out his suit. Tupac was wearing baggies. He had pleats in his pants. His clothes was loose fitting when he died. And this mess, this just mess. I don't get it. How do we get to this point to let people just, I mean, hey, I didn't think he needed no statues in the first place. But with all them damn statues and busts and everything that they did for George Floyd, did none of that shit look like George Floyd. Now, they always said he kind of resembled Steven Jackson, the basketball player. That's what they need to say. Them all Steven Jackson statues. Them ain't no George Floyds. Them Steven Jacksons. Them stack fives. But this right here, this is not Tupac Shakur. His name is Nathaniel Hamilton, and he is a civil rights leader from Memphis. Absolutely not. When this went up, why didn't we have people on the case? There's enough people out here who can still speak on Tupac's behalf. Enough people solid in the game to be able to speak on, and they want to pass images around and say, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Because this shit right here, I don't get it. He's ours. And I know we have black sculptors out here who will pay attention to detail. It was a black woman that did the coin. It was a black woman that actually, she did the coin. I think she did multiple U.S. coins. It was a black woman. How can they have us doing that type of stuff, but they don't ever bring us to the table to do this type of stuff? Good. Ship that on over to the NAACP Museum. Ship Martin Luther Shakur on over to the goddamn Freedom's Rights Museum. Oh boy, you got tag Freedom Media in that so I can see it. I bet you people are going in on that. Yeah. I mean, this was just appalling to me. Just appalling. They need to just roll that up on the Pettus Bridge and just push it over into the water. Just push it over. Drop that shit in Lake Lanier. We do not need this statue saluting one of our greats who met an untimely passing some 26 years ago. But y'all, you know, I think I pretty much have said everything that I was supposed to say. I don't know if there's anything else for me to say. Did I catch all of my slides? I did catch all the slides. What else is there? I think I got everything. I got the Jalen piece. I did. Talked about the welfare queen, Brett Favre. Okay, I got that in. Black Bottom, Paradise Valley, I got that in. I'm just making sure, you know, I try to cover all my bases. Okay? Try to cover all my bases. And hey, and much love to everybody that has been so supportive of my change. You know, my eating habits changed, 6 months ago, damn near. I'm almost at 6 months. When I stopped eating pork, then I stopped eating beef, stopped eating chicken. Still having a little problem, I stopped eating seafood. I'm still having a little problem with the shrimps. I would say, I stopped eating seafood, but I eat shrimp, but shrimp is part of seafood. So I'm only 12 days out on that. But I'm almost 6 months on every other fleshy product, pork, beef, and chicken. And you know what? I won't get out of here. Let me hit that in a second, Narmer. I'm gonna hit that in a second. Yes, sir. But I've had such support for changing my eating habits and just wanting to do better, to wanting to live better, feel better. And I wasn't feeling bad. I've told people I wasn't feeling bad. What we got there? Something's going. There we go. Hold on one second. There we go. Got alarms that go off and stuff, I was not feeling badly, but I wanted to feel better. So I said, let me see if I can do it. And shout out to Pharaoh Said That, because he's a brother that, like I said, he's like that uncle. He's that uncle that I wish I had. He says the shit 1,000 every time. Now, I don't always agree with everything that he says, but I agree with most of that shit. Thank you, Jay Bird. I appreciate it. Bread is a nemesis, boy. Bread is a nemesis, I tell you. It is. And I try to eat better. I try to eat whole grains. I've never been a white bread fan. I ate white bread growing up. My mother bought Wholesome, Wonder Bread, all that. But when I got to be an adult, it's been wheat bread for me all the way out. And that's not always the best stuff. So I try to get more of the concentrated whole grain wheat type breads. But I also do a lot of like tortillas, and things like that. And hell, sometimes I don't even need actual bread, Sometimes I try to just save my starch for my days because I'm a potato chip guy. I'm a chip guy. I love chips. So I like to see that. Excuse me. Hopefully that didn't come out on the air too much. Yeah, it's an everyday struggle. Bread is an everyday struggle. But we gonna meet that everyday struggle one slice at a time. So I appreciate y'all sending me the suggestions, the recipes, and I already said I can't take no more food advice from nobody that eats chitlins. If you eat chitlins, you can't tell me shit about how to eat out here, okay? You can't. Sadiku done did some damn research. Before I get to Stacey Abrams, hold on a second. Tupac's mom, Phoenix Sugars, founded the center in 1997 to provide opportunities for children pursuing an interest in the arts. She sold the center. What? See this right here? See this right here? This is what I'm talking about. Why would she have sold the center? Why would Afeni Shakur have to have sold Tupac's center? What? And had the Tupac statue removed from the property, the new owner. Reparations. Repair. And why didn't, if somebody was going to buy, you trying to tell me that we don't have no notable that could have bought that $1.2 million facility? We couldn't have put, hell, Tariq Nasheed put $1 million together in 30 days for the Hidden History Museum. We couldn't have put $1 million together to save that museum because she settled on 1.2. She said Burnett reportedly commissioned a $500. Nigel Benz. Doesn't sound like that's a freedman name, but I'll check it out. $500,000. Now, she only sold the whole goddamn museum for 1.2, but they paid Nigel Benz $500,000 to create a civil rights figure? Okay. Because all he had to do was just go get Martin Luther King and put that head on it and put that cross on. Is that a cross or an aunt? Yes, a cross. You probably right there, Narmer. I don't know where the center was. I don't even care now that we ain't a part of it no more. What is it now? Nah, Nigel needs to give back about $450. He needs to give back about $450 because he didn't deserve $500,000 to create that. John Lewis with Roger E. Mosley's head on it. What the fuck? Gregory Hines and shit. Good God. Now, okay, let's back to business here. Whew. $500,000. Shit. Let's go back here. What about Stacey Abrams blaming black men for her loss to be? Because she gonna lose, y'all. I don't think it's gonna be as close as it was last time. What she lose by like 1.4 points? I mean, she was like 3 Negroes away from winning, right? It won't be that close this time, I don't believe. I don't believe Stacey Abrams is gonna win unless they pull some okey doke. I don't believe Stacey can win. You can win, Jesse. You can win. Y'all remember that with Eddie Murphy? You can win. I don't believe Stacey is going to win this time. And, oh, he's doing the new one. Oh, he's doing the new one. He didn't create okay, all right. So he didn't create the civil rights. He didn't create the SCLC statue. He's creating the new statue. I got it. Okay. Okay. Free say he needs to give back all of it. All right. All right. All right, let's get it up on the thing. Just Nigel Benz and I create that statue. It's been commissioned to create the new one. Okay. And I don't believe, like I said, Nigel Benz is an American freedman. So we're going to keep a close eye on brother Nigel. Okay? And make sure that this statue don't come out looking like Tupac Mandela. Hear me? Okay? But yeah, let's get back to Stacey. Let's get back to Stacey. Because I tell you, Stacey been blaming black men for her falling behind in the polls. It's not black men, Stacey. It's your platform. It's your agenda, baby. You have nothing for us. Therefore, we have nothing for you. I'd like Stacey just to go on and come out personally. That's what I really like. I'd like Stacey just to go in. If Stacey would just go and come out, she might be able to grasp onto the LGBTQIAP and push her over the top. If she came out right before the election, she might be able to get over the top. I'm just saying. Does anybody know whether she is or not? Because I personally believe she is. I ain't gonna lie. I believe she is. And if she is, uh-oh, he looks Nigerian. Uh-oh. You say he looks Nigerian? Okay. Okay. Okay, so he's got other work that he's done of Tupac, and hopefully I'll be able to see those, and we'll talk about those. I'm interested in seeing the new statue, because this right here got to go. Okay, he looked like he about to go meet with Reverend Klieg back in the day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, him and Stokely Carmichael about to have coffee. We need to get that out of here. But yeah, I think that she's basically out of bullets, and that's why we're in the space that we're in, where she's talking about black men can help push her over the top. I ain't gonna help her push her ass nowhere for the sake of not getting a hernia, and I don't believe she deserves black men's votes. I believe she lost us when she stopped talking to us. She stopped talking to us because she thought that black girl magic was going to work. And that black girl magic don't work without black man magic. People need to understand that. People need to understand that. Without black man magic, there ain't no black girl magic. Who uplifts black women more than black men? But no, there's so many of them out here who think they doing it on their own. They doing it on their own. It's black girl magic. I'm independent. I don't need this. I don't need that. You full of shit. It all started with your daddy. And it's all going to end with a man. Even though you're a woman. In the beginning. See that title that I had there? In the beginning. I told you I'm a boomerang caster. Y'all had no idea in the beginning. Y'all might have thought I was about to be on some biblical shit. Well, I am, goddammit. I'm on some biblical shit. In the beginning, there was man, a black man. And Stacy seemed to have forgot that until she realized, oh shit, I need the niggas. And then she started going around the cigar bars and barbershops and the suburbs. Yeah, I saw her meeting up with all them moist ass motherfuckers. Yeah, moist as fuck. Where was you meeting all these cats at? This is why I'm saying I believe Stacy is there. And if she really wants to push herself over the top, she needs to just come out and say, look, girlfriend, I got a girlfriend. I don't know this to be true. I am not accusing her. I just haven't seen a man. Where a man at? I ain't seen nobody walk Stacy up on stage, hold her hand till she get to the top of the stage. When you see female politicians walk down from the crowd up onto the stage and they got a man, they walk them right up on the stage. Unless it's Pete Buttigieg, then his husband, he holds his hand and walks him up on stage, But Stacy is always walking up on stage by herself. Oh, she does have a beard. Okay. I did not know this. Man, you got to hit me off with some inboxes because I didn't know this. Stays very, very in the background, I see, because I have not known this. She has a man, which she claims to be her. Oh, she needs to not use that term. Hopefully she didn't use that term beau. I don't like when they say beau. This is my beau. No. Say that's your main, girl. You from the South. Say that's your main. This my main. Yeah. I don't like when they say beau. I don't like it. You hear me? Because that right there means absolutely nothing. Oh, she didn't use that term. Sadiku, stop putting stuff in Stacy's mouth. So, okay. But the fact is, there is somebody. I still ain't seen him. And I don't like when politicians run and they don't show that balance of having a mate. Because like I said, I really don't give a shit whether she's gay or not. But that might be the push she needs. But since she says she's got a beau, we'll leave it alone. But that person needs to come out. Because, see, if she's trying to get black man, how come that black man ain't on a campaign trail campaigning for? Why he's staying in the background? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I knew Narma wasn't done yet. Oh, you're not talking about Corey Bussey. We knew that was all a fake. And I think she got a new man. She broke up with Corey, and I think she got her a new man now. Corey wants to get over the top. If Corey wants to get over the top, he needs to go ahead and come out too. He tried to fool us, tried to make it seem like, you know, he was good with it. But Corey needs to go ahead and come out too. If he comes out, he has a better chance the next time he decides to run for president again. Okay? Him and Pete Buttigieg can run. Hey, you never know. The Bussy and Buttigieg show. You never know. But, you know, they would cover all the bases. You got a white guy, you got a black guy, you got a gay guy. Well, two gay guys. You never know. And I don't know if they are or not. I'm just saying, speak your truth. Win your election. But if Stacey is, she needs to have that man come out and start talking for her. Just like Barry had Shelley out there talking for him to black women. Come on out there and talk to the black men, brother. I'd love to know what his name is, though. I'd love to know what that brother's name is, where he originated from. Please tell me he's an American freedman. Because if he's not, let's just say Stacey Abrams' man is not an American freedman. He has absolutely no reason to speak for American freedmen. We speak for us. We speak for. There's no more Harry Belafontes. There's no more Sidney Poitiers. There's no more Cicely Tysons. There's no more. There's no more. There's no more civil rights activists who came from other territories and ingratiated themselves into Black American culture and spoke for us 100%. There's no more of that. We don't have any more of that. There might be one or two here and there, but not enough to where I can really name them like bam, 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 bam. Yeah. Let me get this damn Tupac shit out of here because it's actually starting to aggravate me now. Get on out of here, old Pac. So, yeah. Where I am now, venturing into some different spaces. I've had a couple conversations over the last few days. I'm really trying to work with these youngins out here because I'm starting to see how they're being lost. You know, because everybody is not going to be an Amani Bates. Everybody is not going to rise to the heights that this young man has risen to and be able to soar from where they've come from. Because he's still going to soar. He's absolutely still going to soar. His journey is nowhere near done. But let's just go for and that's an uncommon case. So I'm going to go from an uncommon case to more common cases. Okay. Kids are leaving secondary educational institutions in droves with no direction. Okay, they are. They have absolutely no direction. And I personally don't like it. You know, let me go and do this, man. I can come on up here, man. Come on out. just so y'all know, I'm just in here. I choose not to be on camera most of the time now because I really want people to focus more on the message than me, because I'm really nothing to focus on. What you doing? What you looking at me for? So I'm in a space now where I'm trying to make sure that young people that are coming out of these secondary education institutions have some direction. And I've talked to a few people over the last couple of days as we put together, this nonprofit, and I'm working with different organizations because before the nonprofit really starts to do what it needs to do and work with these corporate infrastructures, what I need to do personally is I need to continue to do what I've always done. And this goes back to my father. I've sold a lot of shit in my life. So a lot of people know me as a salesman. Okay. But never mind the product or products that I may have sold in the past. I have to put all of that behind me because none of that matters in the grand scheme of things. What products I've sold in the past does not matter anymore. What matters is the fact that people didn't buy products from me. People did not buy products from me. They bought me. They bought me because I sold them me before I sold them a product. Before I presented a product and presented all of the things about the product that I was attempting to sell to them, I sold them me. Okay? So the most important thing to me is to continue to sell me to these youngins out here. And if anybody has seen what I've done over the last 30 years, they've seen me sell youngins the real. I've never sold a youngin a fallacy. I've never sold a youngin a pipe dream. I've never sold a youngin bullshit because I never lived that. I've only lived the real. I've only had real things happen to me. I've only done real things. And I've taken more chances than probably 5 to 7 men out here in this world, collectively. People that say they chance takers, put them all together, and I bet you I've taken more chances than them. The first person that steps up, I've taken a lot of chances, I've taken a lot of chances. Put them all together, I bet you I've taken more chances than them. And I've won more than I've lost. I just haven't won enough. Now I'm not worrying about me winning. I'm worrying about these youngins winning. Talk with my boys and their friends, and they want to get into the dispensary business, but the startup costs are high. They want to be legit, but can't get their foot in the door because they have been closed out systemically. And I know that there are different programs with social equity and things like that in whatever state anybody is in. There's all types of social equity programs. How beneficial they are to us remains to be seen. I haven't seen enough of us get over the threshold of ownership in the medicinal or recreational cannabis business, and that's because systemically they put those restraints on us, and it was based on just having liquid resources. If you don't have the money in the beginning, you're not going to get the money in the end. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. There was policy put in place to be able to help us. Okay. But what happens is when you have POC, BIPOC, minorities who have those resources at their disposal, they can step in front of American freedmen. I know you identify as FBA, and I have no problem with anybody that identifies with foundational Black Americans because it is a derivative of Native Black Americans. Shout out to the brother, the elder brother, Dr. Claude Anderson. Shout out to brother Tariq Nasheed. You have situations where, yes, they put things in place, but they also put them in place knowing that if it's going to help them, it's going to help everybody else. The Black and Brown Coalition does things like this. And I've already said, if we don't get rid of that moniker, Black and Brown Coalition, we will perish much sooner than we're gonna. There is no Black and Brown Coalition. And Brown is kicking the hell out of Black. And when you find somebody who is brown and they say brown and Black, pull them to the side and be like, hey, let me talk to you. Because that right there, my friend, might be an ally. If they say brown and Black, that might be an ally. You might want to talk to them. But I haven't seen it yet. I've only seen people say Black and brown because they know what it's meant for. They know what's going to make somebody's ear perk. So when people say Black people, people's ears get like this. When they say Black and brown, no, now it's like this. But if it's just Black people, that's the way it is. Now, if you say POC, or you get some people turning their heads, they're talking about people of color, people of color. I'll never say BIPOC. The only time you'll ever hear me say BIPOC is when I'm talking about this motherfucker right here. BIPOC. But yes, we've got to put our youngins in positions to win. And the only way that we do that is we get them onto some substantive situations. I just don't believe that these kids are leaving secondary educational institutions equipped with all of the knowledge that they need to be able to go out here and survive, especially if they're not entering someone else's PWI or HBCU right out of high school, somebody's trade school. I don't believe they have the knowledge. And who is doing the checks and balances on this stuff? So this is why I want to work with everybody at the 3 high schools. Who's in charge? I want to work with who's in charge. You start at the top. You don't start at the bottom. See, I've worked with the kids before. I done seen them, and then when I have to let them go, because I might have been coaching, I might have been mentoring, but when I have to let them go, I put them into the hands of other people, and they don't have their best interest. That's a problem with me. When you don't have these kids' best interests and they trust you. They trust you. But no, what you do is you take that trust. Not only do you betray it by not helping them, but you go help somebody else. People always ask me, why am I so on Black politicians? Why? Because who do Black politicians go to first to get votes? Their people, Black people. If you think you can win the election without coming to Black people, go there. Don't come to Black people. And don't I already know you're not going to advocate for us. Don't talk about us. Don't say people of color. Don't say minorities. Don't say BIPOC. Don't say none of that shit. Just talk to white people. Be a black politician and only talk to white people. See how far you get. Everybody ain't going to be Tim Scott. Let me just tell you. I've been trying to talk to people about skilled trades, and I've already got a list of people who are willing to put their knowledge out there in an introductory fashion to people, to youngins who are interested in going that route. Because I don't expect a kid to know whether they want to be an HVAC, a plumber, an electrician, this, that, and the other right out of high school. But to want to go into that field, they need to have an introductory period. Unconventional situations can bring on unconventional results. Non-traditional situations can bring on non-traditional results. But we're doing too much of the same and getting too much of the same, which is we're not doing enough, so we're getting not enough. And I'm not sure why that's not registering to so many folks. Your kid is not going to be a professional athlete. Let me just tell you that. Just got to tell you that. Your kid ain't going to make it. Because most kids aren't going to make it. Your kid's probably not going to be a college athlete. At least the ones that get full ride scholarships to major universities or even smaller colleges. What you do have to put your weight into is my kid has to live in this world and has to be fruitful and has to make a substantive living, because eventually your son or your daughter is going to want to start a family. And what are they going to put in that baby's mouth? The world is so different from when I came out of high school. It changed 10 years later, 20 years later, 30 years later. I'm almost 35 years out. I have seen this world spinning. And what I had access to coming out of school to what these kids have access to, it's not the same. They getting rid of human-based jobs, y'all. They getting rid of human-based jobs. Robots are running shit. Hit me in the inbox with a phone number. I want to go over the vision with you. I have absolutely no problem with discussing my vision with another visionary, with someone who can be fruitful for the cause. I appreciate that. Just hit me in the inbox. Facebook, Instagram, I'll get it. Twitter. The world has changed so much to the point where now they are making humans useless. It's impossible to compare. It's impossible to compare, Free. Thanks, Jay Bird. Appreciate that. I got some things coming over on Facebook here. I've been somewhat negligent, have not been in the Facebook chat. Looks like there's a comment. Brother Jermaine, what's going on? How do you sign up to show them? I already got your phone number. I appreciate you checking us out from the book. I will get with you. I see the work that you do out here. And what I would need a youngin to actually do with you is to literally follow you around and see your strategy. And while you're showing them your strategy, and once they get the basis, then I need you personally to go back and talk to them about where you came from. Because youngins love to learn the real. They'll learn a trade and the real dealing with people like Brother Carmichael right there. I need that. I don't need them just to learn the trade. I need them to learn what happens if they don't learn a trade. Because if they're already in that space and their mind is already open, then you need to put everything in their mind positive that you can. Because we can't have them reeling backwards. There ain't nothing waiting for them backwards. Once they get to that point and they're in your midst, you've got to take control. You've got to take over. You've got to do the right thing. So I appreciate you, Brother Carmichael. I will definitely be getting with you. Brother Zanera, good to see you doing your thing. Are you broadcasting this on YouTube too? Yes, I am, Brother Zanera. Hopefully he ended up checking it out. I've been so negligent not looking at my Facebook shares. He said, yes, and I did, and I am, sir. Yes, I am. Because I didn't do any type of billboarding today. You know, I had things all ready to go. I just knew I had to shoot a couple moves earlier, but I wanted to get this in because I've got other people that I need to listen in on tonight. You know, I do my stuff. Let me explain how I work this right now. I get my cast in now so I can let the big dogs take the stage later. I got BTP, I believe they've got a Twitter space coming up. Correct me if I'm wrong, Free, is that 7 or 7:30? But they're going to be doing a Twitter space tonight, and I'll be in that room while I move about, handle business. Hopefully be taking some phone calls in from people that have seen this and are interested in putting their services to good damn use. Thank you, Free. 7:30. I'll be sharing that Twitter space. If you see me right after 7:30 putting a Twitter space out, sharing a Twitter space on Facebook and on Twitter, I'll screenshot it and share it through IG as well. Absolutely, you need to jump on that. I know a lot of y'all jump on them goofy ass Twitter spaces. You need to jump on something that's real. Please do so. We building something here, y'all. And we building with people who are already been building. See, I ain't gotta be the biggest building. I'm building with builders. As long as I'm in the building, a part of the building, helping to build, we're going to get it done. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. What else is out here, man? What else is out here? You know, now I'm in the mood to talk for a quick minute. I'll talk a little bit longer. What else is out there? Yes. Naeem, Brother Lord Abba. And I could say he's the mouthpiece of BTP, but they all mouthpieces. That's the crazy thing. They could all be the leaders of BTP. They're all leaders. Brother Naeem, Brother Ali, Brother Josh, Brother Grimm, Brother Ibrahim. They're all leaders. And I'm just grateful to be a part of that struggle. These brothers put me on to American freedmen and let me know this is where we dwell. Not what we did, it's where we dwell. It's who we are. They can't take it away from us. It's in the Constitution. If it's politically classified as such, who am I to say something else? And this has no downward look towards FBA. And hey, even if you identify as ADOS, not that pound sign, not that hashtag sign, but if you are and you do consider yourself ADOS, I have no beef with you. I have no gripe with you. But the people that tell me that they're not American freedmen, but they're ADOS, y'all some clown ass motherfuckers. Hear me? You're clowns. That's up to you. You can be what you want. But don't tell me that you ADOS and you're not a freedman. Okay? Hear me? But yeah, we've just got to be really on it and in it. And if I did offend anybody with anything that I said today, I meant it. I mean, I didn't mean to offend you, but I meant what I said. And if it offended you, then that would be something you have to deal with on a personal level, because everything that I said today was pretty well thought out. Yeah. I didn't have any random thoughts today. Everything was pretty well thought out. So as we move towards the rest of the evening, let me see if there's anything else on that side. Literally. So yeah, but 7:30 tonight on Twitter. It's going to be a great space because I think where people's minds are starting to go and what we're starting to see, it's opening people's eyes to some things. And we're heading closer to this midterm election season, and that's either going to galvanize or tear people apart. And that's not what we're about. That's definitely not what BTP is about. But they tell the truth when they're doing their streams, when they're in these Twitter spaces, and that frankly offends people. That's why I've had a really difficult time getting people to listen to Pharaoh Said That on a consistent basis, because he tells an unapologetic truth. He don't give a fuck what you think. He don't care. He just says what he needs to say. And when people get all up in his chat room and start getting off code, see, I ain't got enough people. I got like 4 people in my chat room. So I ain't got enough people in my chat room to get off code. Everybody's in line. Everybody talking the same way. Every now and then you get a clown up in there. They want to say some greasy shit, but we've been on it today. And the people that are actually in the chat today, I would have felt sorry for anybody that would have got up in here and got greasy. Because I got a couple head knockers in the chat room today. And it looks like Sadiku is a head knocker too. Appreciate you, Sadiku. Please hit me up with that information. And if I'm not following you or friends with you on, because I'm not sure if your YouTube name is the same name on Facebook, I want to be able to share and engage, whatnot. But I appreciate y'all. Y'all keep being who you are, because they don't like that. Keep being who you are, because they don't like that. If you got to change for you and your family. Don't change for no random motherfucker out here. Please don't. As soon as you change for somebody random out here, they gonna change. Then where are you? Appreciate you, Free. So y'all be good. I'm gonna pump that back on up over there. See what we got going. Yeah. Oh, they done put out a couple more streams. Boy, these people they hitting. They hitting telling you, man, it's about to get crazy. It's about to get crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna get on up out of here, y'all. Y'all be good. Just be safe. Things are getting crazy. I just saw some Detroit boxer on his climb up, man. Looks like he is gonna have a shot at the title. And his brother killed him. His brother. It's family. A lot of times it takes you down. And although I speak about the collective and I speak about family, and that's really who I believe our foundations need to be, sometimes our family can be our own worst enemies. His brother. And it said his manager had been trying to get him to come down to Toledo and train and work and live. You know, he said, you got to get away from the bullshit, man. You got to get away from the bullshit. And the crazy thing was, that youngin was shot on a street called Stout Street in Detroit. I used to sell home improvements and sell windows and shit. And I sold a brother who was on that street. He owned 3 or 4 houses, flat out dope dealer. I ain't gonna lie. And I outfitted 2 or 3 of his houses. Well, I don't think we ever finished the rest of them. Because when I came back, when the jobs were done, literally, when the jobs were done and I came back to talk to him, he was already in jail. And one of the people that I had dealt with, probably who had keys to most of the houses and stuff, he had been killed. I done seen some shit, y'all. But yeah, when I said where it was on Stout Street. Yeah, I remember. And he was doing it too. And it was just his block. It was just his block. He owned several houses just in his block, doing his thing. By the time them jobs got done, I went back. He's in jail, and the people that, you know, he had me fucking with, they was dead. Dead. It's made no sense. So, y'all be good, and I'll holler at you.
You know, this revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First, you tell us that it is manly to keep your word, right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a woman, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand.